Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Socratic Cinema podcast. My name is James Delicio.
I'm Casey Clark.
I'm Hallie Phillips.
And I'm Charlie Heatherly.
And today we have a very, very special episode planned for you guys because it's our 1-year anniversary. It's crazy to me that we've been doing this for a year already, and we've got a lot of fun stuff planned for today. Just a nice day of celebration and looking back on everything that's happened in the past year. It's been a wild year for the podcast, for the channel, and we wanna start, I think, today. Well, actually, how do you guys feel? It's been a year already. How are we feeling about this
year of fun and friendship and laughter and really just a great experience overall, for me at least. I think that we've managed to find something incredibly special, and I'm so blessed knowing that we have a audience that likes to listen to us, because we love to hear all of what you guys think, and we love to provide you guys with stuff to make, the hard times easier, or whatever you use us for, whether it be a podcast to fill your mind while you're going to work, or something that you listen to when you're feeling down. We absolutely love doing it, and we thank you guys for giving us the drive to keep going forward, because it really is something that we love at the bottom of our hearts. It's something that we appreciate more than a whole lot of other things. So at least for me, this is a huge milestone, and I'm so very glad that we made it.
Dang, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
Does
Thank
anyone else have anything they'd like to say? Any opening words?
Well, I guess I follow up with Charlie, just with another big thank you to all of our viewers. You really made this happen. To think a year ago, we were coming off of seeing Aladdin in theaters and then taking over Charlie's basement for nearly an entire day, and just getting getting that episode out, and just everything going up from there. It's absolutely amazing, and I couldn't ask for better podcast mates, and I couldn't ask for a better audience, so thank you.
Oh,
Aw.
we love you too, Casey.
Well, shucks.
Hallie, anything you want to add?
I'm going to back off what Casey said. Thank you guys so much for allowing us to kind of challenge ourselves, and be able to come together and create stuff that we love. We all have a love for cinema, and so being able to share that and explore that in new ways is awesome. So thank you guys very much.
Absolutely. Every single one of you guys who listens on, whether it's on Spotify or YouTube or Apple Music or even iHeartRadio, if there's any of you guys out there, thank you so much. Just each and every one of you guys means the world to us. I think we've sort of always said since the beginning that the numbers don't really matter to us as long as there's one of you guys out there who's hearing us and who's listening. We're happy to keep on doing this. So thank you so much. It's just really kind of humbling to see so that there are people out there who are willing to listen to us. Really, it's just been incredible seeing the response that we've gotten on some of these things, and we love making stuff and interacting with you guys. So we look forward to another year of that. But with all that said, oh sorry, I wanted to take a minute to give a super special shout out actually to on Instagram. He goes by the name of anb.guy. I felt the need that
Yes.
for a year we should
Yes.
congratulate him again. He made us our lovely intro that you see on every single one of our videos. So huge thanks to him. He's a real one. Thank you for the support, man.
Absolutely. I believe Mark
Um,
Hamill likes to call the biggest fans of Star Wars a special name that I'm forgetting. It's like super mega fan or something like that. But A and B guy, that's you. That's you, man. You're a super
honestly,
mega
Yes.
fan.
he's our number one, dude. We love you. If we
Oh,
had
that
a
was gonna be a
Patreon,
battle
you'd get
number one.
tier 3 or whatever.
Yes.
But with all that said and all that done, I thought it might be fun sort of for us to open up the episode by going around and sharing our favorite memories or our favorite episodes from the show in the past year. So we'll all just kind of look back on our favorite parts of everything we've done in the past year. So I don't know.
Shall I take the lead? I think I'll take the lead. In terms of favorite things, now are we going to do favorite video or favorite moment? Because those are two separate entities to me, at least.
Why not both?
Why not? But well, that sounds like a lovely idea, James. In terms of our favorite episode, or sorry, my favorite episode that we've done, it's probably got to be La La Land. I mean, I had never seen that movie before, and it was such a great viewing experience, and it was such a great just film in general. Like, I personally love musicals. I love Ryan Gosling, and really that's the whole reason why I like the movie is because Ryan Gosling is hot and in it. But it's just such a masterfully made film, and I think the analysis that we did on it was something that was really in depth but funny, and also it just hit a lot of areas that I think we always strive to achieve. But that's probably, at least for me, our high point when it comes to mixing all of the analysis and funny moments and just general viewing notes and theories into one video. Like, we had some really interesting stuff about color theory and all the dancing and just all the little intricate details of that movie, and it made a really phenomenal episode in my opinion. In terms of favorite moments, though, something a lot less serious, I think, is the one day that for Oscar season that we spent reviewing 6 movies and recording 6 podcasts. I'm not sure if that's the exact number. It might have been 7 or something. But started off on a high note. We had an amazing episode recorded for Star Wars, and then James accidentally formatted the DS card or whatever it's called, and then it got
SD card.
SD card. Yeah, that one, and then it got deleted. But we'll have other people talk about that moment more specifically. But that was just a marathon of movies, and my God, was that tiring, but it was so much fun hanging out with you guys that entire day. We got boba, we hung out, we took breaks. It was just like, I mean, that was a true bonding experience. You know, they say that you bond through traumatic experiences, and that's probably the best example of that I can probably think of.
Honestly. Yeah, that La La Land episode though was incredible. I like to think of that as sort of our shining example, you know,
Our
that all the other
magnum
episodes
opus?
strive to be. Yeah, like if someone wants a first episode to get into the podcast with, I think La La Land is a great place to start.
For sure.
But what about you, Casey? What are your favorite memories?
Well, to jump off of the favorite episode, I would definitely agree with Charlie on La La Land. I absolutely love the movie. It was one of the first movies that I was seeing for the first time. And for the podcast, it was really our first movie diving in as deep as we like do now, and it kind of just set the standard, like coming off of Aladdin and Napoleon Dynamite, then you go into La La Land, and like Charlie was saying, that there's all this color theory and there's all going into like how the dances are inspired and all this like feeling and just really picking apart a movie in a beautiful way, and I really liked it. And my second favorite, close second, is Spirited Away, which is another movie that I saw for the first time with you guys, and it was just a whole like, that day was a whole vibe, like, no one took notes.
Yeah.
Like, we were just watching, and it was so beautiful. Um, and I'll go on to my favorite moment, and honestly, like, when you're listening to all of our podcasts, and um I'm not sure how much of Charlie roasting James for simply existing is actually kept in some of our podcasts, like to what extent it has to be cut down. But when you're there in person, it's so hard not to laugh. Like, I have a really loud laugh, as we know. And it's just really, really funny. And it's amazing that like we can have a friendship like that where we can poke fun at each other and we can just drag each other and still like come back in a few weeks to record something new.
Yeah, I think a lot of the arguments are usually unfortunately caught off camera, aside from the famous Spider-Man debate, but those are definitely some of the most interesting moments of the podcast.
I was gonna say that. Is anyone gonna talk about the fake podcast that James did before the Spider-Man debate?
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
man, I almost forgot
James
about
Gunn
that. I
Post
think
Show.
that's on our Instagram way
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, it
Oh,
must be one of our
oh.
first videos, but that was so funny. Oh my, what triggered you to do that? Because you were like in a
Huge
state of like
regret.
anger
I was like
hysteria.
speaking in tongues. It was just I think I was just frustrated. I was a very angry person back then, but I've really
Back then.
I've really learned a lot. I've
Uh-huh.
opened my mind
You went
to
on a retreat
to many
to
new
unlock his chakras.
viewpoints about film.
Specifically Spider-Man, right?
Maybe you and I both, Charlie. We went on a journey with those movies.
Honestly, in Odyssey, I think we both came to, like, a middle ground after, like, truly living the enemy's life
It's
and
sad that it all
watching the
happened off
movie.
camera, though.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, but
I Let's
but
do a Spider-Man
anyways,
debate part 2, and then
we
they
should
can see the journey come back together.
we should revisit it at some point. But
Mhm.
Hallie, what do you have to say?
Okay. It's very, very close with La La Land, but I think I'm gonna take a different take on my favorite episode. I'm gonna say Whiplash. Yeah,
Whoa,
yeah.
I was
Whoa.
I
not
don't even
expecting
though
that.
we weren't together when we filmed it, I felt like it was kind of like a new beginning for us, like a new perspective we were taking. Like usually I'm pretty timid and quiet, but I felt like, we were all coming together, even though we're not together. We were still able to
Right.
foster that same community and all the James roasting Charlie and Charlie roasting James. Like it was all still there. So I think that's one of my favorite moments cuz we came back together and we kept analyzing movies. And Whiplash, I actually didn't see Whiplash before recording the episode. So it turned out to be one of my favorite movies, and that might be a bias towards Damien Chazelle, but I think it was really special for us. So yeah, that's my favorite episode.
But
But
honestly,
still closely.
who isn't biased towards Damien Chazelle? I think
Yeah.
that's rightfully
Honestly.
so.
At
Yeah,
this point.
honestly.
What about yeah, do you have any other favorite memories or moments?
Yes. So, I mean, originally, I have put down here my favorite moment was James leading the whole Star Wars episode. I think that was one of our greatest pinnacles in our Socratic Cinema, existence. Charlie said, "Oh, we're bonded together through traumatic experiences." That's our traumatic
That
experience.
was
Mhm.
very traumatic.
It brought us closer together. It was so great. Thank you, James, for that. Thank you.
I am happy to delete an episode anytime.
Yes. But I
No,
was also thinking another great moment I remember when was all of us, we went to, KGEM to look for the studio, which we were
Yeah.
originally going to, you know, continue on and actually start recording at a studio. Uh,
yeah, that would have been great.
yeah, but we were, like, all there looking it out. The
Except
future was
Casey.
bright.
Except
Yeah,
Casey.
except
Yeah,
for me.
Casey was there in spirit. Casey was
I
there in
was.
spirit.
Honestly, man, once coronavirus is over, though, it's done. The production value is gonna
It's
skyrocket.
soaring. It's
Get
soaring.
ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's really good. I kind of forgot about that. Like that was a good memory. Sorry, Casey. We wish you were there.
It's okay.
Mhm.
I wish I was
Um,
there too.
but as for me, I'm gonna go ahead and agree with Casey. I think Spirited Away might be my favorite episode that I can remember right off the top of my head because I think it was sort of like La La Land in the way that it was like sort of at the top of our game analysis wise. But also I think that it was interesting because it was sort of our first foreign film kinda. Really. And it was our first
Yeah.
animated film too. It was kind of a departure from some of the other stuff that we'd been doing. So I thought it was a good precedent to start like expanding the scope of what movies we talk about. Um, but also, honestly, I really liked how Onward came out. I thought Onward was a really good episode.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I loved that movie too. And for being the first time recording virtually, it went off without a hitch, in my opinion. So for me, it's Onward or Spirited Away. Um, but my favorite moment, my favorite like key memory, it might have been over multiple meetings. I can't we've had so many problems, but it's all the times that we've had to put our noggins together and try to get our new audio setup working. Back in the day, little for anyone who knows stuff about microphones, back in the day, our recording system was very low budget. we
Mhm.
we
Right.
we
Hey,
all
don't diss the Blue Yeti mic, man. That
we
thing
had
was legendary.
we had a single Blue Yeti mic that we all crowded
I'm
around.
looking at it right now.
Like all four of us just huddled around this one microphone. Um, and we decided that we were gonna upgrade. So we got like a mixer, and we all got our own individual microphones. And just the amount of fiddling we had to do with that thing is insane. But I think it's worth it. I think it's cool to have some actual equipment. But yeah,
Mhm.
those are some of my favorite memories. Is being angry at our H6 because it would like buzz or stuff like that.
I'll never forget the time when we plugged in our mics to another
Oh,
another
no.
audio bay,
gosh.
and we got all of our mics stuck in the audio bay, and we couldn't get them out. Like, we had to pull with all of our strength to get them, and there was one last mic left. We had gotten the other 3 all done. It took a little bit, but we got them. There was one left, and it took us 20 minutes to pull it out, and I swear I was there for 10 of it, just yanking at it. And then Casey's like, "Hey, can I have a try?" And I was like, "Sure, you probably won't get it or whatever." And then within a second, with 0 effort, she just unplugged it calmly, and then it was done. And then it
I'm
was done.
ripped.
She's
Oh,
absolutely
man.
ripped. And then I looked at my skinny, frail arms, and I was like, "Wow, I need to go to the gym or something." But that was like, I'll never forget just the almost movie-like journey that I went on in terms of character building
Yeah,
and
man,
then
you had
defeat
your
and
own
realization.
arc right there.
I had my
Yeah.
own arc.
But yeah, those are that was fun, guys. That was fun sharing our memories.
Yeah.
I kind of
Mhm.
I y- I think I get like a little bit wigged out trying to make like the schedule and everything, and sometimes I think we forget to just like take a minute and look back on everything that we've done. And that applies to everyone, man. Like take a minute and celebrate yourself sometimes. It's never a bad
Yeah.
idea.
Mhm.
But with all
A
that
word.
said, we also reached out to you guys in the past few weeks. If for those of you who follow us on Instagram, you guys should all follow us on Instagram, by the way, at Socratics under oh whoa.
At Socratic_cinema, all lowercase.
There we
Yeah,
go.
what Casey said. We put out a few surveys getting some of your guys' favorite episodes and moments. And I thought it might be fun if we all want to go around and take turns just sharing out some of those. See what does Socratic Cinema mean to you guys? Maybe I'll start us out. This one comes in from Scooter Sky from our Instagram saying that my favorite moment was when you discussed the concerns you had with Baby Yoda. We remember that?
Yes.
Vaguely, yes.
I think that was the first episode we did on Mandalorian, right?
Yes, it
Oh, we
was.
did do a two-parter for that, didn't we? Yeah.
I don't even remember.
I don't even remember. Yeah, but I do remember in that first little bit of episodes, everyone was like, "Okay, Baby Yoda is the absolute best, and I would die for him or her." I actually don't know if which one's which, but what's gonna happen? Are they gonna get too powerful? Are they gonna do even anything? Like, what's it gonna or really, where's the show gonna take this character? And honestly, I think in the end, we were pretty smack on in what we wanted them to do. Like, what ended up happening was pretty much what we had analyzed and said would be best for the show. Now, do I take complete credit for that decision in The Mandalorian? No. Do I think that Jon Favreau should email us a check at the very
Yes.
least? Yes, I
It'd be
do.
appreciated.
It'd be appreciated. But Baby Yoda ended up force choking some fools and going absolutely ham
Oh,
against
yeah.
the stormtroopers.
Yeah.
So honestly, really dope that we got to see that concern actually addressed in a show. I think we should do more TV shows like that and see how our opinions develop, because that's something that's always been interesting to me, is seeing how somebody's view of a show changes as different plots and events happen within them.
You should definitely keep up with The Mandalorian, like whenever the second season comes out. I'm more than down for that. Um Hallie, let's just go on a line, right? Let's just go down the row.
Mhm.
All right. The next one is when Jamie saw Little Woman with Charlie's mom from
Now who
Maria
sent that
Helm.
one?
Mariah
That was
Helm.
fun.
Mariah.
I can say that was very fun. It was just funny. Like I walked into the movie theater and I was not expecting that at all. And I'll never forget
I
how
wasn't
judged I
either.
felt.
Yeah, no,
was-
I wasn't expecting when my mom or when my mom came home to be like, "I just wanted to date with James DeLisio." I was like, "What?"
I know, and I felt so judged. She came up to me and my mom.
Judged?
Well, no, because I was standing with my mom, and she came up and she was like, she looked at me, and then she looked at my mom, and then she was like, I think it's nice that you brought your son to see this. And I was like, what? I was like, I swear your son has to see it too. I don't feel the least bit emasculated by seeing Little Women though. So
I'm gonna tell my mom that you thought that she's judgmental.
no, I don't think she's judgmental. I just personally felt hurt. It could just be my ego getting the better of me.
I personally felt hurt because that's better, 100%.
Yeah.
Uh,
Anyways, Charlie, I think it's your turn.
okay. Before I say this, James, I want you to pronounce the name that I'm looking at.
Alicia Vikander.
Okay, you got it wrong the first time. You got it right this time. I'm impressed. From John Delisio, the quote says, when James tried to say Alicia Vikander and then butchered it, Charlie then proceeds to go, oh, Alicia Vikander, saying it properly. Now, I have a tendency to do that with celebrity names because I listen to a lot of celebrity news and I hear those names thrown out a whole bunch. So if someone's like Taika or Taika Waititi, I'm like, it's Taika Waititi. And
Yeah.
and I just feel vindicated by that, and I feel like I'm doing the world a service. I don't really remember correcting you on Alicia Vikander. What episode even was that?
I think it was movie trivia part 1. You know what? While I'm editing this, I'll go ahead and throw in me saying it wrong right here and Charlie correcting it.
I forgot her name.
Okay, we're gonna try the other question.
What's the answer?
Well, Alicia Vikander.
Oh, Alicia Vikander.
Of course. How could? Yeah, my bad.
Alicia.
Alicia. I don't know what I was thinking. Coming in next from Gabe Thomas, he says, "I enjoy when James uses big words. Good work. Thank you." And suddenly,
Yay.
I can't think of any big words to show my gratitude with, but
Be any big word. Doesn't have to be related to the topic at hand.
discombobulate.
Ooh, that was good.
I don't even know if is that a real word?
Yeah.
Yeah,
think
like
so.
discombobulated.
I feel like it's one of those like fake words that gets used so much people think it's real, you know?
I'm discombobulated by that analysis of
Discombobulate.
You know, like the words like fantabulous.
well that
I
no, there's a word for combining the two words, isn't there?
I don't know. Isn't that called a contraction?
No. It's a combination of the words fantastic and fabulous. I'm gonna look it up right now. I'm gonna look up here. Go on to the next question. I'll come
Yeah,
back.
while you get
While
on that.
he's doing that, Hussein Ahmad says, all of them.
Oh,
Oh,
Thank you.
that's nice.
Thank you.
it's called a
That's so
portmanteau.
A portmanteau. That's a big word. There you go, Gabe.
Yeah, Hussein, where are you at, man? We've never talked to you. What's going on? Thank you so much for leaving us your questions though and your comments.
Yeah, we
Uh,
appreciate all these responses.
yeah, we appreciate them all. But thank you, Hussein.
I think we got one more in the favorite moments bin. Hallie, you want to take it?
There's 2 more highlighted, but okay.
There are? Take one of them. Never mind. I'm just blind.
I was like, what?
Oh, I see.
When y'all discussed La La Land, it got me to watch the movie and I liked it. Smiley face. Lucas
Yay.
Longoria.
There you go.
That's
Thank you. That warms
that's
my soul.
beautiful. Yeah. Like the fact that we encouraged someone to go see a new movie, that means the world to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
That feels like
Yeah.
we've done our job here,
We're
boys.
spreading good cinema.
Yes.
Now, if we
Yes,
encourage
that's
someone to
fair
watch Spider-Man 2, we aren't doing that. But in terms of La
Aha.
La Land, we most
It's-
certainly are.
It's always funny. Anyways, it's your turn, Charlie.
This one comes in from someone I don't think I've heard before, Rachel Delisio. She writes that Rachel's dirty feet revelation in the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood episode was her favorite moment.
Now, I wonder why.
Yeah,
I feel like there's a
weird.
connection here that I'm missing out on. No,
No
but
clue.
seriously, that was a lot of fun having. Oh gosh, no offense to Casey. I feel like a bad person when I say this.
No,
That was
it's
like
fine.
that was the one episode when Casey couldn't make it for whatever reason, but it was like
Mhm.
crunch time, I guess, and we just had to record something. And my sister stepped in for the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood episode, and that was she made an absolutely wicked point about dirty feet, in very Tarantino fashion.
Mhm.
Go check it out, though, man. That was crazy. I remember we all kind of were floored for a second when she said that. There was like a 5-minute, 5-second silence. We were just like, "What?"
I don't think
Beautiful.
I've ever been so intimidated in my life when she walked in because number one, I'm gonna be real with everyone. I forgot her name when she came in. Like I knew in the back of my head that it was Rachel, and I was the one who had to introduce the episode. But I felt weird asking your sister James what her name was. So I had the gun to my head. I was like, all right, we're just gonna go for it. And then I said Rachel, and I had never been like it was a feeling of relief akin to an ocean being let free. Like
Oh my gosh.
it was an insane wave of relief. But she came in with such a banger point. I was so impressed.
I
And I
know,
think
man.
that's also a really good episode. I think that goes in like my top 5 in terms of episodes.
It's definitely in the Hall of Fame. But
Mhm.
now we're moving in to some favorite episodes from people that you guys, again, you guys sent all these in. Thank you for participating in the forum. It was a lot of fun reading all these responses and kind of going through them
Mhm.
before recording. But starting us off, we've got James's Spider-Man video essay from Ballman Gilead on Instagram. Thank you so much. I'm glad you liked it. It was a lot of fun to make. It was a long time coming, let me tell you. I wrote that essay like back when Spider-Verse came out, like the day after I saw it back in like, gosh, over a year ago now, last December. I wrote that essay and then I posted. Maybe I was just why am I just describing the process of me making it? But I wrote the essay and I posted it to Reddit and then I took it down because I was embarrassed. And then months and months and months and months later, it was after the podcast had already started. It was like Casey and Charlie and Hallie and all you guys. I just listed all of you. um, were just pestering nonstop. They were like, "You gotta make it, you gotta make it." And I didn't want to because I was lazy. But I finally did. And I retouched up the essay and I recorded it using the famous Blue Yeti mic and I edited it and I released it. And now it's our biggest video. It was a lot of fun to make and I'm glad so many people enjoyed it. If I'm ever feeling not lazy, I'll try to make more in the future. I think that goes for all of us. Video essays are fun, but they're a lot of work.
A lot of work.
Yes.
I
Is there anything that you took away from that episode really blowing up? Like, were you more conscious of the decisions that you made within the video, and did you try to apply those to your cat's video essay, or like really, what was just your response and takeaway from that whole success?
Well, I think first of all, I was I was shocked beyond belief. Like I never thought anything that we would ever post would get that kind of attention. But I think really the main thing I took away was like, whoa, if a video like as crappy as that could get that many views, I definitely felt like it was definitely a call to action to kind of step up my editing game, you know? Um, so for the cats one, I really tried to like go all in with the editing. And I'm proud of how the cats one turned out. Hasn't had quite the same response, but you know what? It's not like we said, it's not about the numbers. But
Mhm.
if you if you haven't seen it yet, you should go check it out. I thought it was pretty cool. It's a hot take about cats, which is kind of done to death now, 6 months after it came out, or 5 months. Gosh, it's almost June.
Yep.
Yes.
That's crazy. Um, Coming in from Elliot underscore Quisp, we have all of them are bangers. Oh,
Say
thank
it
you,
in an
Elliot.
accent.
All of I don't
No, no, no,
know.
no, 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 no. Go ahead, keep going.
You're too kind, Mr. Quisp.
Oh my.
You little Briton,
You little
you
Britain.
little Saxon, um,
Toxic.
Anglo. It was thank you. I don't know. Does anyone have anything else to say? That's just very
Uh,
nice.
Elliot is one of my best friends, and we have a very special bond. So thank you, Elliot, for that. It means a whole lot. And I promise we'll touch on this later in the episode. It's something I will for sure address. I will eventually get that Resident Evil video essay out. I promise. I promise. I have no date. I will put no date on it. I will get it out. We'll,
Wow,
we'll,
you guys hear that?
we'll go in
Wow.
later
They have
about
to
what that
hold me
means,
to it.
but stay tuned.
John Delicio writes in saying that The Sixth Sense was his favorite episode, which is very interesting because I personally liked doing all of our themed movies. Like we had our spooky month, where we did American Psycho, Sixth Sense, movies like that. If you haven't watched them, go and watch them and go listen to our podcast on them. Those are really cool ones. They're underrated, but Um but yeah, how do you guys feel about themed months?
I'm down to do more. I'd love a Christmas month or something like that. I guess
Ooh.
what's our nearest themed?
Yeah, we can watch Die Hard in the Christmas month.
Yeah, we can.
We could, we could. Um, what do you think? I mean, what's the next themed?
Like, would it be summer?
Would be
Is there a summer? There's so many summer
Oh,
themed
coming
movies.
of age
Yo!
movies.
Can we
Yes.
please do Yes, coming of age movies. Guys, let's do it. That's such a
Coming
good
of
idea.
age movie summer.
Yes,
Let's
like even
go.
it's coming to Netflix too, so
Ooh, yes.
Oh, I haven't seen that. I want to though.
Or we just rewatch the beach episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender over and over
True.
again.
Yes. What's that? Ember Island Players or whatever.
Ember. Oh, yes.
A
Amazing.
beautiful episode. And I'm so happy it's on Netflix. But it looks like that's all that we picked out for sharing our memories. Thank you for sharing your memories with us. And here's to making many more next year, I think it'll be a 2020. It's going to be our year, guys. 2020 is off to a rocky start, but Socratic Cinema is going to prosper. Just you wait.
We got it.
Hope
Heck
you come on
yeah.
this journey with us. But let's move into the Q&A portion of today's episode. The part we've all, I think, been waiting for. We thought it would be fun to take some questions from you guys and give us some answers. So I think, just the same as what we've been doing, why don't we just go around asking questions, answering questions? You know the deal. I want to start us off because the first question we received comes in from Kuram Malik on Instagram. I hope I didn't butcher that. And his question was just 2 fire emojis. So
We appreciate this.
yeah, I don't know how to answer that, but thank you.
No. Let's analyze it. I feel like there's some meaning here.
The duality
What's the
in
color theory?
both fire emojis.
Of
The burning symbolizes our
He's
passion
saying that,
for the
yeah,
podcast.
exactly. We have a burning passion to push forward, and the fact that we have released this video is emphasis on our hot takes and the way that we analyze movies that way.
Ooh, yes, Charlie.
That was kind of good. Okay. Casey, you want to take the next one?
All right. Elliot_Quisp asks, once y'all kick Charlie, would you consider me due to my British accent? I would consider you because of your British accent. Anyone? Anyone else?
I got-
Yes.
Oh,
Not that we would ever kick Charlie out.
Uh-huh.
But if something happened to him,
Sounds
absolutely. We hold auditions. How about that?
Yes,
But British accent helps. Definitely bonus points for that.
definitely.
All right. Next question. Moving on.
Wow.
Charlie, we don't
Oh,
want
is
to
it me?
think about a podcast without you.
Of course.
Why would I want to
You
dwell
just
on
want to
that?
think about the auditions that would happen afterwards. No, I'm fine with it. Honestly, if you had to choose someone, I would definitely recommend a foreign accent, specifically British.
Beautiful.
Yeah, no, take that as my words. If I die and you have to keep doing the podcast, put a British person in.
Elliot, looks like you got the job.
You got the job, Elliot.
All
You're an
right.
understudy.
Who's next in line?
Believe it is Hali.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Yes, I think I was cutting out. I am back. All right.
Beautiful.
From Lucas Longoria. Hello, second time. What is a movie that you didn't like at first, but upon watching it a second time, you liked? I mean, personally, for me, I
Oh.
liked all the movies we watched. Except
Maybe how
maybe-
about just beyond the scope of the podcast, just in general?
Oh gosh.
Oh.
See, the opposite has happened to me with at least 3 movies on the podcast.
Yeah, let's not get into that.
So, if we're thinking more positive,
Like
geez.
you didn't like it the first time, but the second time something changed.
Oh, yes, Phantom Menace. 100%. I
Oh,
rewatched
me too. That's yeah.
I rewatched Phantom Menace and before I was this guy that absolutely hated all the prequels, and I still think the prequels are probably the worst trilogy. That's a debate for another day, but Phantom Menace is a lot more fun and a lot more enjoyable than I remember. Now, there's some absolutely goofy stuff in that movie. The Jedi can like dash like the Flash, which is really weird, and that's never brought up again. Jar Jar and Anakin effectively save the day by being idiots and bumbling around, but it's just like it's so adventure-y, and it's like I'm watching an Indiana Jones movie, but it's Star Wars, and George Lucas just has that he's able to bring that raw childhood emotional energy into it all and make it a really fun, uh, movie experience. Now, is it the best Star Wars movie? No. Did I like it a lot better the second time through? 100% yes.
All right, Phantom Menace. I guess that's kind of it for me too. I can't. I'm trying to think. I know there's so many. Maybe like the Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield. I think that's it
Yeah.
for me.
Really?
I like honestly, a lot of it holds up. Like there's a lot in that movie that I really like upon looking at it again. I don't know if that's unpopular or not, but yeah, that's my answer. Like that part with the cranes where he's like swing like all the cranes come in to like let him swing. That's really cool. The whole bridge scene, immaculate. So yeah, that's it for me. Amazing Spider-Man.
Very fun. Anyone else have them?
I don't think so. I feel like either I like really like a movie or I don't like a movie for a very specific reason and I just don't watch it again.
I
Mm,
I don't know if
see.
that's good or
Same,
bad.
yeah.
Probably a bad thing as like a cinema
Dang, you guys have
person,
never
but
come around?
never come around.
no.
I
Aw.
I like the journeys. I think the journeys, whether they be from good to bad or vice versa, are some of my favorites because it really lets me think about movies. But
They're more interesting for sure.
yeah, they're way more interesting. Moving on very, very swiftly from Shooter Sky, she asks, "Do you guys struggle with finding inspiration for certain videos? And if so, how do you combat that?" At least personally, I don't think that there's really been a time in the podcast where we've been starved for content or trying to figure out a movie, or at least in my memory. There's probably some time that we did do this, but I know for a fact that usually if we don't want to or if we don't know what to comment on, it will just be a popular movie or one of the movies that we keep in storage. Like we've had Monty Python in storage forever, so if we ever run out of ideas, Holy Grail's going to be what we talk about.
Yeah.
But I can't really remember a time where we were struggling for that. I don't know. How about you guys?
Yeah, I can't think of it. I think the podcast has always been pretty easy to do. I mean, there's so many movies out there. Like, it's not too hard to find something to talk about. Video essays, like personal videos, on the other hand,
Mm,
ooh, gosh, it's a whole different
impossible.
story. To answer the question, yeah, I think all of us struggle a lot with finding inspiration for video essays. And for me personally, how do I combat that? If I'm not feeling it, I put it away. I don't think about it for a long time, and maybe someday I'll come back to it if I'm feeling inspired again. But like the two video essays that I've put out, it's been the sort of thing where like you get an idea and you just can't like you can't stop until it's done, which is
Mhm.
kind of rare. So I'm hoping maybe some more of those hit. But yeah, you gotta be prepared to put ideas away and maybe come back when you're just when you're feeling it a little bit more. I don't know. Do you guys have any different takes on that?
No, I agree.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
I know we
100%.
all have a lot of shelved videos that we want to talk about a little bit later.
Oh, for sure.
Let's see. Our next question comes in from frosted_flakes15, whoever that is. And he asks, what is your least favorite episode? Uh, which is, for being the
Dude,
guy who asked the question, I don't have an answer ready.
gosh.
I
Is
don't
there
know.
any episode that we've done like badly? I'm trying to
Uh,
remember.
Audio quality wise, my least favorite episode is Stranger Things Part 2. That sounds like a
Oh,
tin can.
guys, there's an
Oh,
obvious answer to this. It's the first Aladdin episode.
Oh, yeah,
That's
yes.
no,
what
I
I was
can't listen to
thinking.
that.
I can't, no.
Yeah, I think that stands for all. Like, I think that's pretty unanimous feeling here. Stuff got
L-
way better after Aladdin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, Aladdin was really good, and I would not give up our experience seeing Aladdin for anything because in making that podcast, it really allowed us to solidify our style. Because in Aladdin, I think we spent like 30 or 40 minutes like summarizing the movie.
Well,
And
the
Yeah.
whole episode was just summarizing the movie.
Summary.
pretty much. And we had a little bit of analysis thrown in, and we used to have a summary part of this podcast. But I think that episode was really important in terms of learning experiences. Like before we were able to get to the comfortable state where we're at and where we're able to evolve even further, and instead of making this show good, we can make it great. We had to first get from really, really crappy to somewhat good and then to good. We had to go through that whole process, and it started with Aladdin.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I think that's a good answer for that. Right.
Right. Who wants to take the next
Very
question?
good. Moving on.
All right. So L_Rolo asks, what inspired you to start this? How hard is it to keep up? Well, I remember, I believe it was when Charlie and Hallie was in that class, but we weren't sitting at the same table. But we were watching Dunkirk in AP Euro, and I was utterly confused. So I was talking to Charlie about it because obviously Charlie is world smarter about film stuff, and I've never seen this movie before. So we were just having this like really good conversation, and our long-term sub at the time, Miss Loft, shout out Miss Loft, just said, would you guys ever consider doing a podcast? And then I think Charlie talked to some other people, and I was of course down, and I believe I said that at like the moment, but it didn't really become a reality until Charlie was like, yeah, we made the group chat, and he was like, oh yeah, everyone just come over and we can start recording.
And
See,
just like that, it was
I'm
made.
not. Was I really that big of the coordinator for that? Maybe I was, but there was also a second side to that story. Not only were
Yeah, because I was not a. Sorry,
yeah,
go ahead.
you weren't in that class, James, and I had known Hallie from the previous year in English. She used to take all my paper all the time.
Yes,
Still one
sir.
of the best Christmas presents I've ever received. She came in with a stack of paper, and then she was like, "This is for you. I'm so sorry for taking all your paper. By the way, can I borrow a sheet?" Uh,
Love that.
so that was my favorite present. But I had known Hallie from the previous year, and I knew that she was really big into film, and I thought she had some great analysis in English class, and I thought she was great in that entire realm. And then I had also just met James that year. I think that Matthias, our mutual friend, introduced us to one another, James. But
Yeah.
we also wanted to do a podcast because both you and I were big into movies at the time as well. So I had recognized that James wanted to do it. I had recognized that Hallie would be an amazing fit, and I know from that experience on Dunkirk, Casey, that both you and I wanted to do it as well. So I was like, what if we just combine all of these great people into one group? And then lo and behold, we watched Aladdin, and Socratic Cinema was born.
Crazy is it that two individual friendships with Charlie, like separately, wanted to make a podcast?
I'm
like,
great, I know.
I had no idea. I had not heard that second side of the story, really. I only knew my side, where I was like, "Hey, Charlie, we should really like start a YouTube channel or
I
something."
know.
Uh,
It was a crazy. Gosh, you always forget how things start. Like when we started this episode, I barely remembered anything from all of our experiences in this. But really looking back, like there's so many individual events that led up to where we are. It's just crazy to think about how every decision that you make holds value, and that by just wanting to make something great, you can eventually form such a beautiful connection like what we have made. So just astounding how far that we've come.
it was beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
From Mariah Helm again. Who are some of your favorite actors, actresses, and what movies made them your favorite? Also, you guys are the best. Keep up the amazing work. Smiley face. Oh, thank you.
So sweet.
Oh, thank
Mhm.
you.
Thank you.
You're the best.
Yes.
You're the
for
best,
listening.
Mariah.
Favorite actors, actresses. I really like Tom Hanks. I really like Adam Driver. I really like Saoirse Ronan.
It's all
And
abs.
even Saoirse Ronan, who knows?
I love how you questioned Saoirse Ronan before Tom Hanks.
Oh yeah, wait a minute. He's old. But honestly, what movies made them my favorite? For Tom Hanks, it's kind of like Forrest Gump, Saving Private Ryan. For Adam Driver, it's Marriage Story, and for Saoirse Ronan, it's Little Women. But there's that for me.
Allie, what about your favorite actors and actresses?
Oh gosh. Okay, I'm horrible at remembering actors' names, but I mean, one that I've always kind of stuck to is Ryan Gosling. I think just the fact that he learned piano for La La Land, that stuck in my mind. Of course, because it's La La Land. But yeah, I really appreciated Adam Driver this year in Marriage Story. Gosh, yeah, and Scarlett Johansson this year, in Jojo Rabbit, she was amazing. Made me
Oh
really
yeah,
appreciate her a lot. But yeah, that just from this year, I'm struggling to find others, but yeah, those are the ones that stood out to me.
There you
yeah.
go. Always good
Nice.
choices, Casey.
I would say I really like Daniel Kaluuya.
Oh
He
yeah.
was in Get
Mm.
Out. He was also in my favorite movie, Queen and Slim. Definitely traumatic movie, but one of my favorite movies. And he just naturally like surprises me. It seems like he just keeps getting better with what he like does, and I just really appreciate that. Another actress that I consider to be one of my like idols would be either Janelle Monáe when she acts or Lupita Nyong'o when she acts.
Oh
And
yeah.
Mhm.
yeah, well, Lupita in Us, I know it's not one of her like best movies, I guess, but she really just killed it in Us, especially like how much talent do you have to like have, how much range to be playing two characters on the opposite side of the spectrum and
Hmm.
just completely like body that entire performance. And then I'm just really excited for Janelle Monáe to see her in Antebellum, which is coming out I think later this year.
Oh,
Hopefully, if it didn't get postponed.
That's true.
that's very true. In terms of my favorite actors and actresses, I'm probably the biggest nerd when it comes to actors and actresses on the show. So I could go on for literally ever about who I like. But I mean, very briefly, I think on the greatest of all time list, you have to put Daniel Day-Lewis. Morgan Freeman is up there for me. In terms of all rounders and comeback stories, you got to put RDJ. Like, what a man coming
True.
back from like the pits of depravity to be a great guy all around nowadays. The Ryans, both Reynolds and Gosling are fantabulous. Scarlett Johansson, as you guys said, is really underrated in terms of how well she does. Leonardo DiCaprio. There's a million more names I could list off, but that's who comes to mind right now. A lot of the big actors and actresses in Hollywood really do live up to their name, and
Oh
they
yeah,
are really phenomenal.
Samuel L. Jackson. I
Sure,
forgot
yeah,
to
Yes.
drop that in there, but
yeah.
I just rather than like thinking about it, I really like Samuel L. Jackson. That's all. um,
That's all.
yeah, that's
That's just
all.
just a brief
Uh,
drop in.
yeah, I think that
Samuel L.
was.
Jackson's great, but I think Tommy Wiseau or
Oh, all right,
Wiseau
we're not going there. There's
is
a
a
question
little.
actually about that. There's a
That
question
was my
about that
segue. I
later.
was going to segue into it, James. It was going to be a perfect segue. Let's try
Gosh,
that
all
again.
right,
Let's
go
try
ahead.
that again. Yeah. Wow, Tommy Wiseau, what a great actor. From Riley Smith, he asks, have you considered discussing any horrible B minus slash C movies? Now, I don't know what you mean by horrible, because you gave the example of The Room, but I think it'd be really fun to talk about some of those quote unquote bad movies and discuss really what went wrong with them and what is still somehow right. Like the
Mm.
room's been done to death, but I think there's a million other films that sort of fit that category that we could definitely talk about.
I'm down to talk about like the good parts of bad movies. That's a favorite of mine. Um,
Yes.
there's lots of
Cats.
there's yeah, as you can see by the Cats video essay. I think stuff like that would be fun for sure. Um, yeah, nothing against B minus slash C movies. Maybe that's something we'll pursue in the future.
I love the
Who
distinction of
knows?
B minus
Yeah,
specifically.
not like slightly worse than B movies.
A slightly above average.
Mhm.
Anyways, coming in next from Gabe Thomas, we've got how can I subject you all to lynch films? I will do literally anything. I assume you are referring to David Lynch, the director of Twin Peaks, Eraserhead, Dune, The Elephant Man. I definitely didn't just Google him.
I
I've never.
totally just Googled him.
I know. I definitely did too. I don't think I've seen any Lynch movies, but Dune. They're making a new Dune movie, so maybe I'd be down to watch the old one. Sure. How
Wow,
can you
we
subject us to Lynch movies then?
pay us on Patreon.
That we don't have.
That we
You
pay
don't
us.
have-
Oh, the next one is an interesting one, Casey.
Ooh. Alrighty, the next one from Hussein Ahmad. What is your ultimate dream project you would like to do? This is addressed to everyone. Love your vids, by the way. Aw, thank
Thank
you.
you, Hussein.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Ooh, ultimate dream project. Like
Gosh.
having to do with film. I think I'd love to sit in with just like really iconic black directors.
Mm.
Like Spike Lee, Issa. Those are the only ones that I can think of at the moment, and I'm trying to double check to see who is alive at the moment.
Oh my gosh.
I
But
mean,
yeah, that
Jordan Peele.
yes, Jordan Peele. Thank you, Jordan Peele. Obviously, yeah. Oh, yes, Candyman. Yes. Okay,
Oh
that's it
yeah,
for me.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Definitely.
that'd be super awesome. Hallie, what's your ultimate dream project for the show?
Uh, show, gosh. I mean, I don't know. I mean, my ultimate dream project originally was to get us in the studio and have us all recorded, visually and add a lot of visual elements to us.
Yeah.
Sadly, that is not happening. But anyways, gosh, I don't know. I mean, I feel like, gosh, as Casey said, interviewing would be a great way, to dive into a different aspect of analyzation. So many people we could talk to, I think would really bring a lot of inspiration and wisdom in terms of cinema. So really, I think interviews in as a whole, I think would be an amazing dream project that if we could do would be awesome.
I absolutely agree. I think that would be really cool. But I feel like my answer is kind of like lame now because it's just like I want to do something with Baby Driver. I don't know.
Really? That's
I really like that movie. If I could think of a good video essay topic that hasn't already been done, a Baby Driver video essay. Sure. That's my dream
Mhm.
project. Hands down. What
I
about you,
think
Charles?
I have a very specific image in my mind. Now, why I want this to happen, I don't know. It's like a base instinct within me. I want all of us to get gussied up and then go on the red carpet at some sort of movie premiere and like talk to the actors as they're walking down and be a part of that whole crew.
Oh my gosh, how do you do that though?
We get dude, they invite like tons of influencers to those things. Like
Let's do
so
it.
many more than you think. So any people that have any contacts within the industry, it's Socratic
Please contact
underscore
us.
cinema at gmail.com if you want to contact
I
us.
that would be insane. Let's go to a red carpet, guys.
Heck yeah.
That'd
Let's
be
just break in.
It'd just be so cool. Like I feel like that's for me at least the arc of, we started in our basement. It's like the garage story, right? We started in our basement and then we worked our way up. We got more and more popular. Obviously popularity means nothing because we love you guys no matter what the size of our podcast is. But we go up and up and up and then we finally get to that point and it's like we're there. We made it.
Oh,
We're in
actually, I
Tinseltown.
found my new dream project. It's having it's not a project like a video project, but a project like making our own. You know how all the cool podcasts have like the room that they're in with like the mics and the cool decorations and stuff?
yes.
Making our own like podcast studio out of wherever it is, whether it's Charlie's basement or what, but like making our own cool aesthetic like podcast studio and we can get like cameras and stuff. That's the dream for me.
That'd
That would
be
be so
amazing. I'd
cool.
I
love
take
that.
it back. Yeah, I'd love that too. Um, what do you guys say? Next question?
Yeah, next
Yeah.
question. Is it
Take it
me?
away. Take it away, Hallie.
Oh, where
Take it
is it?
away, Penny.
Oh, yes. So from Rachel Delisio, when will Rachel come back on the show? And
Whenever we need to replace one of our members, I
Well,
guess.
we didn't call her back on the show for what was it? The one where he murders the guy to Huey Lewis in the news.
Oh, American Psycho.
Yeah, we
Oh
didn't
yeah,
bring
you
this
guys
back
just
up
did that
earlier.
without me. I always forget that.
Yeah, 'cause you were
Okay, that's because I didn't like it very much. I wasn't mad that I missed that one, honestly.
we had some great discussions on that episode. But whenever you want to come back, Rachel, we had a really nice time having you on the show, and we'd love to hear from you again.
Maybe Rachel and I will just like swap in and out, and but we'll never announce it.
Just do
Like,
it
it's
randomly
just-
within the episode.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That'd be
Um.
amazing.
Yeah. But that's whenever we'll call you.
We'll connect our agent with your agent. Yeah, don't worry. This question comes from Dangerous Lightning. He asks, how long have you guys known each other? And also, what is your favorite TV show? These questions are for all of you guys.
I think we already kind of answered the known each other part.
TV
but-
show, though.
Yeah.
Big questions. I need some time to think, so someone else take it.
I don't watch a lot of TV, so of TV shows that I've finished all the way through, my favorites are, because I haven't finished Breaking Bad, but of TV shows that I've finished, my favorites are Avatar: The Last Airbender, Full
Sexy.
Metal Alchemist Brotherhood,
Sexy.
and those are like the two that I see as like a big league above the rest, but that's just different. AFV, America's Funniest Home Videos. There.
Oh,
Yes.
Also Mythbusters and Lego Masters.
Yes.
yes.
Don't even get me started on Lego Masters. And
So good.
Chopped. Every show on food.
Stop.
Diners, Drives, and Dives. Man versus Food. All of those. Those are my favorites.
Oh my
Someone
God.
else go now.
10.
I'm getting you a TLC subscription for your birthday.
Literally.
Do it.
Yes.
Someone else go now.
I figured it out. It took me 3 seconds after I passed it off. My two favorite television shows. I don't
Wait,
know.
ready?
Yeah?
He's gonna say Game of Thrones.
That's one of them. What's the other one?
I don't
Read his
know.
mind.
It's Clone Wars.
Yeah, obvious.
Oh, I'm good.
Game of Thrones and Clone Wars are two of the greatest television shows. And Last Airbender. I completely forgot. Last Airbender's phenomenal as well.
Casey and Hallie. What are your guys' favorite shows?
I can go. I mean, I don't really watch a lot of TV shows, but definitely my favorites and the ones that I've watched are Clone Wars and Avatar: Last Airbender. But strangely, the one that I think I've clung to the most of my life is Ghost Adventures. I don't. It's just strangely, it's so good. It's so good, and I love Aaron. Aaron is the best. He's just always scared, and I love him. But yeah, I don't really watch the TV shows, but I think Ghost Adventures is just one that
Yeah.
stuck with me all of my
No
life.
Office?
Oh my gosh, The Office. I think it's just so much of my personality now. I totally forgot that it's even a show outside of myself. Like it's just embedded into me as a person. Yes, The Office! Exclamation point, all caps lock. Oh my
I
gosh.
feel like I start a lot of TV shows, but I don't finish a lot of them. I don't know why. I need to work on that during quarantine. But Casey, what about you?
Well, I used to be really into TV shows, but it's kind of been like up and down. But I would say my favorite TV shows. I'm just gonna go by through the genres that I thoroughly enjoy. I say for cooking, it's definitely Chopped or Iron Chef. Um, Cutthroat Kitchen to a banger.
Of course.
Crime shows. Okay. The crime shows that I really enjoy Criminal Minds. It's really a great show. You should check it out. My favorite anime right now is Haiku because, I love some team bonding and obviously Avatar: The Last Airbender. Not that it's anime, but it's animated. And yeah, I'm watching All American, so I guess that goes into teen soap. And Never Have I Ever was really
I
good.
heard very
Well,
polarizing
kind
opinions
of.
about it.
Secondhand embarrassment. It's you either really like it or like you don't. I liked how they tackled grief, but maybe we can talk about that some other time. But I enjoyed it as someone who like deals with grief. Like everyone else. But yeah, that's it for me.
All right, we've only got a few more questions here. I believe, Charlie, it's your turn.
Oh, okay. Samuel Copeland asks, would you be open to doing a deep dive into stories other than visual media, games, books, etc.? if by visual media you mean films, then 100% yes. James and I are currently looking at starting a Socratic side questing. That was the name of the series. Socratic side questing series about video games. Because for those of you that maybe don't know, even though I'm not sure how you wouldn't, I'm hugely into video games. That's what I want to do when I grow up. I'm making one right now, and I just love, love, love everything about interactive media.
You know what I think would be fun
What?
is as like a book club on our Instagram. Like
Oh my gosh,
Yes.
get
so
our
fun.
engagement up like once a month. Be like, hey Instagram, this is what we'll be reading this month, and then maybe we do like a live or something and talk about it. Right? I think
Oh,
I
that'd be
think it would be
so
cool
good.
to do something Instagram based with that. I
If
don't
you'd
know.
force me to read a book, I'd be happy to do it, honestly.
Let me know if you guys want to see the Socratic Book Club. Hallie, fellow book lover, what do you think?
I'd be so down. I've actually thought about, like, doing video essays on, like, the relationship between the book and the movie, the book and the TV show. I
Yeah.
recently read a book, Little Fires Everywhere, and I was like, "Oh, I should, like, totally do a video essay on this." And then Charlie made the point, like, "Why don't you do this for all the other stuff you complain about and talk about?" And I was like, "Yeah, I could do that." But I
No,
love the idea of a book club. That'd be so much fun.
yeah, and games, like I said, Charlie and I are working on something. We hope maybe this year will be the year of us branching out, maybe. So
Do it. Yeah, let's
Stay
expand.
tuned for that. Stay tuned for that. And we have the last question, kind of an anticlimactic end, but I just thought of this and I had to ask. Do you guys listen to the episodes after we're done recording them? Do you guys ever like how are you guys fans of the show as well? Do you listen to the episodes?
No, I hate everything we do. No, obviously I kid. I never listen to episodes after we record them unless I'm the one that edits them. Although that has not been for a very, very, very long time. James is our main editor. He does a fantastic job. I would never want to take that away from him.
Oh,
Uh,
shucks.
but back in the beginning, when we had our crappy Yeti mic system, I had to edit some of the episodes. I think I did Aladdin. I did the Spider-Man debate one. So thank you everyone for saying that's your favorite episode. I know it's because of the editing. There was probably a couple others that I did, but those are the only times that I've really had to listen to the podcast in full after watching it. Sometimes if I'm uploading the video, because that is my job, I'll listen to the podcast, and our show's more interesting than I remember it being. It's pretty good.
That's always my deep secret fear is like, what if everything we're putting out's just awful? Like what if this is just terrible content? But I don't, yeah, Casey, Hallie, do you guys listen to them?
I mean, as the first editor of Socratic Cinema, I only listened
Ooh.
to, like, the ones I edited
I
to,
was the
but
first
yes, the
editor.
first episodes I listened to. I got to edit La La Land. I don't know when I stopped. I think it was because James was like, "Hallie, I don't want you doing all the work," and then he took over.
No, we each have
Power
our own
play.
dedicated jobs. We each have our own jobs now. It's good.
Yes,
I like this
yes.
system.
I do graphics now, so if you like the graphics, that's me.
She makes our beautiful thumbnails.
You're
Yes,
This
she
welcome.
one,
does.
this one is gonna have a banging thumbnail. I can feel it.
I know, Hallie, you have to like
Yes.
outdo yourself
Oh
for this
gosh,
one.
the pressure.
It's that we all have been like Casey was on top of her game with the social media and the forums, right? I'll edit as good as I can. Charlie,
There's about
just do a great job uploading, Charlie.
I have to remember this
Button.
time.
Press
It's
a
hard.
Yeah,
button.
just remember.
Listen, every time it uploads perfectly. I will have zero
Except for when
complaints.
it
You're
like crashed 3
Except for-
times with the last episode.
We don't talk about that one.
But
No,
Casey,
James,
do you?
you do pull a large share of the work. So I think on behalf of the rest of the podcast, thank you for what
Thank you.
you do.
Oh no,
Thank
no,
you.
no, no, no. We're not here to play that game. Come on now. This is a team. This is a team.
This is a team.
Casey, do you listen to the episodes?
When we first started, I did. Like I listened to the Aladdin episode and I was like, "God, this is awful." I listened to Sixth Sense, American Psycho, Spirited Away. So of some of them I start, but I can't like finish. And I don't
Yeah,
listen to a lot of them mostly because I don't really like the sound of my voice
fair,
that
totally
much.
fair.
But yeah, I'll try to,
No,
I'll
you don't have to. I was just wondering.
like
Um,
viewership. That's
oh
what
yeah,
we
we gotta get our numbers up.
gotta get our numbers up.
I generally don't. I mean, I hear bits and pieces when I'm editing. after a while, man, you really figure out like you just kind of got to jump to a few key points, and the rest of it's usually pretty good. Um,
Mhm.
but I think the reason I don't is like I said, my fear of our episodes being terrible, but also and that I think came from I'm really sorry, Charlie, because like you were talking about how you did the Spider-Man debate one, but I will never forget. I
I was
was
gonna mention that, yeah, that
I,
you thought it was god awful. I
well,
remember that.
I was driving home in the car with my dad from somewhere, and he was like, "Oh, he's a great fan. He listens to all of them. Thank you, Dad."
Mhm.
But we were driving home, and he was like, "Oh, you guys just put this one out, right? Let's listen to it." And we listened to it like on the drive home, and I remember just like, oh, just hating myself like the whole entire car ride. I was like, "What is this episode? What's going on?"
Which is
And
weird 'cause everyone seems to really like it, and
and
obviously the editing sucks, like,
but
that's
we had to like
goes without
crank the
saying.
volume up and down, and it was just like,
Yeah, that was before we really had well, because that's when we had the single mic
You
setting,
can
and
say you use
also
yeah,
when I
iMovie.
did
absolutely.
not, that's also when I did not use headphones to edit, which is a major no-no. You guys should not
Oh
do
my
that.
gosh, what?
Uh,
You can
it
just say you use iMovie, Charlie. We all know.
Yes, you also
Yes,
used
we all
iMovie.
know.
this
But anyways,
slander!
after that though, I was like, I won't listen to these. But then now I do like occasionally if I'm like need something to listen to or I'm bored, I'm like, I'll just throw on some Socratic Cinema. I loved our movie trivia ones. Those ones were great.
Yeah, shame those didn't get a lot of views. I think some of my favorites have to be the movie trivias and the November movie podcast episode, but
Yeah.
no one really watched them.
Our defect child, the November Movies podcast
That
episode.
was a beautiful podcast.
It's like infamous. But really, that kind of brings us to the end of our Q&A. And wow, this is already the longest episode I think we've ever done. It's at a minute 10, but I think it might be nice to
And
talk, not a minute, it's an hour and 10. I
okay,
think it might be nice to talk about our plans for whoa. Thank you to everyone who participated in the forums and asked questions and stuff.
of
This was a
course.
lot of fun to answer. I have had a blast doing this, and it was really fun to see what you guys had to think about the show. Of course, we hope you all keep listening and keep on sharing it with your friends. But thank you again for making this such a great year and giving us such a fun episode. I hope you enjoy this one as much as we have been enjoying recording it so far. Um, but yeah, I want to talk. Maybe it might be a good idea to kind of briefly talk about like what are our plans going forward for the next year. I guess like do we have any specific goals in mind that you guys would like to share? Any big plans for videos that like could have been or may come back or anything like that? I think first and foremost, obviously, our top priority on the channel is always going to be the podcast, right? I think
100%.
that's
Yeah.
pretty clear. It's always going to be our main focus is making the standard Socratic Cinema show. We want to keep doing it every 2 weeks like we have been.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so this is not much is going to change here. I mean, obviously we'll be working to make it better and better, but this will always be like our main baby. But I know at least for me personally, aside from working on the video game stuff with Charlie, I'd love to do more video essays and more just kind of other more non-podcast videos I'd love to produce and put out on the channel. Um, but that's really my main goal is just like make more content outside of the podcast as what
For
is,
sure.
is, is my main thing. I don't know. What about you guys? Any New Year's resolutions?
For I mean, for whatever reason, we've come up with a lot of great ideas in this specific podcast. I don't know what spurred our creative juices, but I think that book idea is really wonderful, and just getting more community interaction is something that I really love. I want to do more of these episodes and more things outside of the podcast where you guys can easily connect to us. I think Twitch streams of movies that we're watching, it has always been something on my list in terms of achieving. I want to start doing those. Again, the whole video game thing is another thing that I definitely want to pursue. But just as a general goal, mostly community interaction and building a bigger fan base.
For sure, yeah. I think social media is another big thing I want to like look
Casey,
at. Not
get
no, we're not
joking.
shooting shots.
I'm
But
joking.
that's
Jeez.
yeah, but that's something I definitely want to like step up, I guess, is our Instagram game. I'm not very literate in social media like that, but I think it'd definitely be cool to have like a bigger presence on there. Like yeah, like Charlie was saying, more interaction generally. But what about you gals?
I'll agree
Um,
with the. I would go, Casey.
no, you can go. You can go.
It's okay, Casey.
They're so
Okay.
polite.
I know.
For me, I would guess more personal content, I guess, because I was working on a video essay, which it was really like the timeline that was working against me, and by the time that I had it like nearly done, the movie had already passed, but I was thinking about maybe doing more of a like little Black History Month mini series where I tackle um recurring themes in Black films and how you like see them today, or like stuff like that, or just like diving like really deep into classic films and whether or not they still hold up, or how accurately they portrayed certain things, and just stuff like that to kind of boost my input.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, those all sound like really cool ideas and stuff that I'd be interested in watching for sure.
Mhm.
Yay.
Hallie, what about you? Any personal goals? Any plans or projects that maybe never quite made it?
For Socratic Cinema, I think just more video essays. I mean, my Euphoria one I made in like 2 hours, and it got a it got a lot of recognition. So I feel like it was really fun to make, and if I actually spent time, you know, putting in effort and challenging myself again with doing a video essay, I think it would be really fun. So
Yeah,
more of those.
absolutely. I think what Charlie was saying too with the whole Twitch live stream thing, if we can, I'd need to look into like the copyright stuff, but that would be a blast. I think would just
Fine.
just like getting a stream going and just like watching movies with I think that would be so much fun. I love that sort of thing. But yeah, there's a lot of man. We have a lot of like scrapped video content now that I'm thinking about it. I have like I think I have 2 or 3 video essay scripts just like sitting around, and I was gonna do a Christmas special video essay that never wound up happening. Um, Maybe I'll pull it out next Christmas. Who knows? Um,
Mhm.
Charlie, you've got a big one that's like almost done too.
Well, I have 3. I'll talk about the 2
What?
tinier ones. Well, I have 3, 2 of them are just scripts. My first one is about Zima Blue, which is an episode from Love, Death, and Robots, which is one of the greatest Netflix shows. It's an anthology series. Each episode, I think, is made by an entirely different team, and it's all like animated, dealing with the 3 words in the title, Love, Death, and Robots. And it's such a great series. And one episode in particular, Zima Blue, really caught my eye, and I wrote an essay about it. And I was going to use DaVinci Resolve to edit it, but I just never got around to it. In terms of the other script, which is my Jedi Fallen Order gameplay breakdown script, I was going to talk about some gameplay fundamentals and some game design fundamentals, and really dive into just how many things are happening at once when you're doing a simple action like swinging a sword in a video game. Like
Mm,
how many different things, like defense systems, attack systems, health in Jedi Fallen Order Force as well, are constantly with you, and you constantly have to manage to create a complex and interesting gameplay experience. But the big
that
bad boy,
sounds great.
yeah, I should do it. I should talk to you about refining it. But the big bad boy, the big elephant in the room, is my Resident Evil 2 podcast with Elliot Crisp, who's been going under the alias Elliot Quisp, if you didn't hear from earlier in the podcast. It's actually a really good analysis that we did. It was the last video, or it was one of the last times I got to hang out with Elliot before he moved to Scotland. So it holds a very special place in my heart. But damn it, if that thing is not long as all hell. It's 30 minutes, and we decided to do live editing on each moment. So what that means to me, at least, is putting in clips instead of just doing what we do for the podcasts, which is put a flat image and then have the audio run. I'm like a third to halfway done with the entire thing. It's just a whole lot of getting clips. And although iMovie is the best editing software that there is, I still have trouble using it in order to do exactly what I want to do. So at some point when I finally get some time, I promise I'll sort that out. It's a year in the making. It's like James's Spider-Verse essay. But when it does come out, I think you guys are gonna really enjoy it.
Year in the making, man. I mean, we've got nothing but time now because of quarantine
Yeah.
and school's pretty much done. So maybe we'll all probably be working on our own projects. I know I have a video, not a video essay, but a video that I'm kind of excited to put out pretty soon. But yeah, I guess that's kind of it for our plans for the future. And holy moly, guys, this is like an hour and 20 minutes. So if you made it all the
Wow.
way this far, thank you so much. Like, that's crazy. That's a
Mhm.
thanks for sticking around with us for that long. Seriously, I guess like always, make sure if you like the video. Yeah, I guess we're kind of at the end of the podcast, aren't we, guys? Is there anything
Yeah.
else we want to talk about?
Not to my
No,
knowledge.
no. I think we covered everything.
Man, a year, guys.
We've
Yeah.
grown
That's
so
crazy. We've
much.
grown so
Mhm.
much. We should do like a definitely do. We're almost at like 5K on YouTube. I'm realizing. That's
Oh,
insane.
really big milestone I definitely want to shout out. We just hit 500,000 views on the Spider-Verse essay.
Oh,
Uh,
seriously?
yeah, not even joking,
Wow.
which
That's
is
crazy.
huge.
Dude, that's
Huge.
insane.
Thank you
Jeez.
so much to everyone that made that possible. That's just like something I
Yeah.
never thought would happen.
Yeah, wow, that's insane. Yeah, thank you everybody for who watched and shared that video. It like means more to me than I can describe. Gosh. But hey, maybe face reveal at 5K. Yeah, but gosh, here's to another successful year of Socratic Cinemaing. We're gonna be working our butts off to make more great what we think is, we'll do our best to make the best content we can for you guys. So thank you so much for supporting us thus far and listening to this episode and listening to all our episodes. As always, if you like the podcast, be sure to give it a thumbs up if you're on YouTube, comment, share it, 5 stars if you're using Apple Podcasts. I hear that's important. So just share the show. Tell your friends about us. We'd love to have more people hear our voices. um,
Mhm.
but yeah, we'd love to share what we think with as many people as we can. So thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing. It's been a great year, y'all. Here's to another one, right? Nowhere to go but
Yeah.
up.
Exactly.
And with that, I'm pretty sure that brings us to the end of our anniversary special. This has
Mhm.
been a lot of fun to make. It's been a long time coming too. We've done more planning for this episode than we've ever done for any other episode, except for maybe the first one. But like, we really wanted to make this something special for you guys. So we hope you have enjoyed it. And with that, we've been Socratic Cinema.
Adios.
Adios.